we teach like English class, and so that was pretty new. I had never like really thought about the English language much, but as soon as you have to like teach it to people, it gets a little bit more important. You start seeing patterns in your own language, and you're like, oh, that's why we do that. Or I don't know, you see little parallels between the two languages, and so that also helped me learn the language as well, kind of understanding, oh, this phrase, this is how you say this phrase in this language. So that was a super fun experience. In most of the English classes, there were like three groups. There was a beginning, intermediate, and advanced. The first half of my mission, I taught the intermediate group. So they were just starting to speak, and it was really fun. I loved that group a lot. But then the last half of my mission, I was teaching the beginners. And at first I didn't really like it because I had to speak just in Hungarian, and it was kind of tough sometimes. A lot of the people in that group are the older nannies and bachies, the older men and women, or women and men. And they're a little bit slower, but you just grow to love them in whatever city you're in. And they made me laugh all the time. They're really funny people. But I loved it. It was a really neat experience, and I'm glad I did it. Some of the beginning classes, there's kind of like a guideline, like different lessons that you could teach, but you're always welcome to venture from those. I love teaching vocabulary. They love vocabulary. And again, learning how to say things that they know how to say in English. As far as missionary work, I definitely feel like it is an inspired way. Hungarians are a little bit more skeptical, especially about religion. When a new religion comes in, they're like, oh, it's just another group of people trying to convert me or whatever. But when they see us serve, and we put them in an environment where they can be in the branch house, when we can have an opening and closing prayer with them, when we can share a little spiritual message at the end, over time it lets them open up. It allows them to kind of think about their lives and stuff. And I definitely saw that in my mission. I would say that most of the success that I had in my mission was initially started through English class. They would come, want to learn English, and then we would periodically ask them, hey, you know our spiritual messages, would you be interested in talking a little bit more about that? And most of the people that I saw baptized were introduced through English class. I remember in my last area in Budapest, the bishop was actually found through English class. And I remember in my third area, I was teaching the intermediate class, and I was trying to be that cool teacher and get everyone involved. Some of the guys from the upper class would go down a level so they could be in my class, and I felt like a hot shot. But we had a really good relationship with them, and 3 or 4 of the people in that class ended up being baptized. Not all at once, but just over time. And I wasn't there for all of their baptisms, but it was really cool to see just that process. And yeah, definitely English class was very effective from what I saw. We would usually hold English classes on Thursday evenings. In almost every city, that was the way it was. And then in a few cities, if we had enough people coming, we had Saturday mornings. So you get different people at Saturday mornings, kind of on the weekend, than Thursday nights. So they would usually only last for an hour. You know, we couldn't devote all our missionary time to English class. We printed out little flyers most of the time when we were out talking to people on the street, or when we were tracting. If they weren't really interested in our message right away, we would say, oh, and we also offer this service. We teach English class, and we give them a flyer. Kind of talk about that a little bit. Talk about our role as missionaries and serving as well. And a lot of people would, maybe if they weren't going to talk to us before that, they would kind of be, oh, where are you from actually? Oh, we're from America. Oh, like I'd love to learn English. And so even just starting with that sometimes would get people to stop and kind of take a look back and start talking to us, whether it was about English class or about the church a little bit later. We also had a website that listed all the cities where we had English class. And I believe that whenever someone typed in like free English class on Google in Hungary, like that was one of the top sites that would come up. So we'd get quite a people that would come, and we would ask them like, how did you hear about our English class? And they're like, the internet, like I'm just looking for some free English help. So it was pretty cool, pretty good system. I would always try to throw in like little jokes every now and then and see if they like understood it enough to laugh. And that was always fun for me. If they didn't understand it, I kind of knew like where to like help them or whatever. So that was a good English teaching technique. They have different idioms and we have different idioms. Oh, okay, so here's one. They have like a specific name for a belly button, and when I taught them the word for belly button, they thought that was hilarious. So just little things like that. Definitely found things to laugh about, for sure. There were different programs that the church had tried, like teaching basically from the Book of Mormon English. And when I saw that happen, like not a lot of people would come. We would sort of save the spiritual side of things for near the end, when they could kind of totally focus on that in their own language and not worry about English. So we would, like I said, we would start with a prayer, kind of have our like class time session, and then have like a 5 or 10 minute spiritual thought before our closing prayer. And with that system, I saw that was most effective. But you know, lots of missionaries did lots of different ways. So.